Hi y'all, welcome to or welcome back to Feelin Froggy Knits. My name is Maya and today we are going to go through my 2025 Make 9. Who, me? Back so soon? Read and weep. They thought I couldn't do it. Me, I'm the one who thought I couldn't do it. Welcome everybody and happy new year. It is now 2025. I wanted to get the new year started off with a bang with kind of a planning video, my Make 9. Before I get into all of that, a couple of housekeeping things. I'm not wearing anything yarny today. The only thing would be these earrings, which I got at Atelier Yarns in San Francisco with my friend Emmy when we did the Bay Area yarn crawl in 2024. We'll be chatting about that a little bit later because that has a lot to do with the projects that I will be making. I've seen other knitting YouTubers and the knitting community on Instagram do these Make 9s before. I actually found out that it was a thing that did start on Instagram, not as a Make 9, but as like, here are my 9 most popular posts of the year, and then it kind of evolved into a knitting Make 9. I have never done one of these before. There is a reason for that, and that is I am terrible at planning. But with my yarn stash ever growing and projects really needing to be made and not cast on a whim, I decided to make 9. Make a list of 9 patterns that I would make in the year 2025. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, we're going to be talking patterns, fiber, yarn crawls. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, keep watching. And if you'd like to see more from me, subscribe. Hit that little subscribe button. I'm trying to post more frequently, and this year's already getting off to a good start, so I'm very excited about that. Like I said, I'm pretty bad at planning, but I've planned this. And this is also going to roll into kind of my knitting resolutions for the year. One of them is to make these 9 things. The other is to swatch for everything and write down my projects in my little knitting journal. My husband gave it to me 2 years ago, and I've, kind of on and off used it, but I'm really hoping to use this as an opportunity to kind of jumpstart my actual recording process of my projects. And then hopefully at the end of year 2025, I can actually do a what I made in a year, because I have never been able to do that. I cannot keep track of all my projects. Without further ado, let's look at this basket of yarn. Ooh. Ooh, some little sneak peeks of what is in there. I feel like I have a really good range of projects as well. It's not like I'm gonna make 9 sweaters, which is just impossible. Let's get into the first of my Make 9. This is not in order. I'm just going to be picking off as I can because this basket is very full. Okay. Let's get started. I have moved you all so that I can put images of the patterns that I will want to be making right here. And getting started off, let's just pick off of the top of the basket and start with this cone of yarn. If you watched my winter solstice vlogmas series, you will have seen this. I made a purl soho dishcloth with it. This is the purl soho cotton pure cone of yarn. If it's not obvious, it isn't a cone, and it is the color warm rock or stone. Dang it, I can't remember. If I don't mention a yarn type or weight or anything, that will all be linked in the description below. And I also have a bundle on Ravelry, which I will also link down below, that has all of the patterns that I plan on making in 2025 for my Make 9. So let's start with this cone of yarn. Oh, it looks eerily similar to the shirt that I'm wearing. What can I say? I have a color palette. With this yarn, I am going to be making the Nord cardigan by, hold on, Imke van Nathuis. I'm going to say a lot of things wrong today. This yarn, it's a 100% cotton, as the name suggests, and it is in a sport weight. Not as daunting, I would say, as a fingering weight cardigan. I need to use this cone. I've had this cone for a minute. I think I bought it because it was on sale, or because I bought the other cone, my heirloom white cone, and I was like, this is great, not having to weave in ends. I love that. But I've never knit a cardigan before, and I would really like a summery kind of cardigan for when it gets chilly at night. I can just throw it on, or in the summer in general, going into an air-conditioned building, just having it with me, throwing it on. I've been thinking a lot about making a cardigan, and I kind of can't believe it's taken me this long. I've been knitting for almost 4 years, and I've not made a cardigan, which seems a little strange, but I plan on doing the Nord cardigan with this yarn. I definitely have enough, even though I also used it to make a dish towel. I'm really excited because for the buttons of it, I'm already like, oh, what am I gonna do? I want the buttons to be made out of black walnut, and my husband does some woodworking stuff, and he said he could make buttons for me. So it's gonna be a little collab, a little Feelin Froggy Knits plus Mr. Feelin Froggy Knits. And we will put this cardigan together. First of my make 9, a cardigan. Try new things in 2025. Ooh, let's do this one next. Fun fact, y'all, I have purchased 3 patterns from Andrew Mowry, and I have not completed one project from her. So this is the year I'm gonna complete one of her patterns. And I thought I would do something a little bit more simple, and that is going to be the Bear Paw socks. It is a DK weight sock pattern, and the yarn I'm going to be using I purchased at the Wine Country Yarn Hop, which is up in my neck of the woods. It is like Sonoma and Mendocino counties. There were, I think, 5 yarn shops. I picked up these 2 skeins of yarn there from Fiber Circle Studio, which is in Petaluma, California. I bought these with the intention of making a DK weight pair of socks with them. First is Playful Day Yarns. This is hand-dyed yarn from Petaluma, California, and it is a yak fingering, so it's 70% superwash merino, 20% yak, and 10% nylon, and it is in the colorway Double Spruce. I love, love, love this color of green. I wanted to get it, but I'm like, I have so much sock yarn. I don't want to make another fingering pair of socks. And so I snagged this skein as well. Mini Marvelous Mohair. It's 72% mohair, 28% silk in the color Evergreen. So Evergreen, spruce. Do we see a little bit of a connection there? It's 50 grams and 459 yards. Maybe I'll make 2 pairs of socks with these. I don't know. I think I could make 2 pairs of socks with these. So we'll see. My plan is to make the Bear Paw socks by Andrea Mowry, and that is a DK weight sock pattern. You know, I've been having some trouble with socks, and I'll get to that in another video. So stay tuned. That is going to be my second of my Make 9 Bear Paw socks by Andrea Mowry. Next, oh gosh, y'all. This next of my Make 9 is a project that I tried to make and frogged twice. So I was like, you know what? Let's bring it into 2025 because I really, really want this finished object. It has kind of a sentimental place in my heart. This yarn that I'm about to show you, it's Noro yarn. It's Noro Akari. Look at how beautiful this yarn is. It is like a color changing, stripy kind of yarn. 200 grams, 480 meters. And it is a silk, cotton, viscose, mohair, wool, and polyamide blend. I would put it more towards a summery kind of fabric. It is single ply yarn, and I got 2 skeins of it. Here's the other one, which I completely unraveled and made into this fun little ball. My now husband, proposed to me in Lake Tahoe, and I really wanted to get yarn to commemorate that. So we went to this shop, Atelier, which now I'm thinking that I did not get these earrings at Atelier. Everything's down below. I got this yarn because it reminded me of Lake Tahoe, the water and the rocks and the clouds and everything. I started making the Bay Pullover by Jacqueline Cieslak. Again, name's bad. It has kind of a tricky construction. So I think I knit the first panel, took a break, didn't make any notes, unraveled it. Then I knit the 2 panels, did not get it right because there's a lot of like math and you really have to be on the counting for this pullover. And so then I frogged it again and it is in its current state. So I really want kind of a little bit of a redemption with this yarn. So that is going to be my number 3 of my Make 9 is the Bay Pullover with this beautiful yarn. That's a swatch I made. What needle size? No idea. I didn't even block it. Look. Each year we grow and we change, and hopefully it's for the better. I have not done that yet, but who knows? I purchased 2 of these items during the 2024 Bay Area yarn crawl, and they both are needed to make this next project. And this is currently my only crochet project that I have ready for my hook. That will change. I know it will. The first item for this next project is going to be this crazy yarn. Ooh, we'll get to it in a second. This is by Love Fest Fibers. It is Amara upcycled linen, 100% linen, and it's about 25 yards per 100 grams. So this is a chunky yarn. So this is from the store Love Fest Fibers, and it is in the colorway Juniper, and all of this yarn is hand spun by women in Bihar, India. I saw this yarn and I was like, purse. And I got this yarn first and I was like, okay, I'll figure something out. I know that it will be purse, but what kind of purse will it be? And then the next day, Emmy and I went to Fangari Fibers, I believe it's called, in Half Moon Bay, again, part of the Bay Area yarn crawl, and I saw these, which were on sale, and I was like, I just got yarn to make a purse. And purse handles? Are you kidding me? When I was figuring out my Make 9 for this video, I knew that I wanted to make a purse out of that and to try to find a pattern that worked relatively well with this yarn and with some handles, and I found this bag called the Sweetheart Hand Bag. It is a crochet pattern by Lori Morell. It says it's made with 3mm macrame cord, and it says 90 to 110 yards. I've got 100 yards here. I think it might work. And in fact, I just had the idea of using a different yarn to cast on to this part and then using this yarn to continue. I don't know. Just once I start the pattern, it'll all kind of work itself out. Me trying to plan and being like, it'll all work itself out. Yeah, fourth Make 9, right here. Thanks Bay Area Yarn Crawl. The next project in my Make 9 is going to be a shawl. I've tried to knit one shawl. I guess I knit the Sophie shawl, but that's like kind of a glorified scarf, let's be real. I tried to knit one that's one of my Andrea Mowry patterns that I have not completed, and then it was a little bit complicated for semi-beginner Maya. During the Bay Area yarn crawl, I went to a store in, I believe it's in Oakland, it's East Bay, but it's called Black Squirrel Yarns. Y'all, they had such a lovely collection of yarns, and they had some Wandering Flock there in store. I've used Wandering Flock mohair before, their icy lavender color for an iris hat that I made. I just love their colors. I mean, the neutrals are like the perfect neutrals, stuff that I feel like I can't find anywhere else. Their neons, their pastels, I mean, everything is just lovely. I saw these two and I was like, yeah, I'm getting them. I didn't know what I was going to make with them actually, because it wasn't until the next day that I found the project that I wanted to make. That's the thing, Bay Area Yarn Crawl, it was like everything just kind of fell into place. Kind of magical. Anyways, here are the yarns. Can you believe? We've got this, which is a 100% superwash merino, extra fine merino. It's a fingering weight, 100 grams, 400 yards, or 365 meters. And it is in the colorway Sweet Pea. Wow, 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 wow. And then I got this superkid mohair, 80% and then 20% silk. Lace weight, it is 50 grams and 430 yards, or 395 meters, and it is in the colorway Neon Sherbet. Which, I mean, come on y'all, those together, I was like, ooh, another Oslo hat. Next day, we went to the Royal Bee Yarn Company, and that is where, oh gosh, I cannot say this lady's name, and I'm not gonna butcher it, so it's on the screen, and it is the Straw Flower Shawl. This uses a fingering and a mohair, kind of alternating. It's got a bunch of different techniques that I've never done before. I feel like this project, the yarn, the pattern will just work so lovely together. The color changing of this yarn, the like bright neon, and it's like see-through a little bit too, because you use the same needle size for this yarn as you do for the fingering weight. I'm so excited for this. I'm excited for the challenge. I feel like this will be kind of a lovely summertime project, not only because these colors are very summery, but then to have that shawl to like throw on, be like, oh, this old thing, I made it. That is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my make 9. This yarn I got a year ago in Fort Bragg. There's a yarn shop there called Mendocino Yarn, I believe. I picked up this yarn. I can't remember what I initially thought. I think some sort of cowl is what I wanted to make. Some kind of like color work-y-esque cowl. I don't know if y'all know this. Let me let you in on a little secret. Color work should be contrasting, because if not, it will you will not be able to see it very well. Let me talk about the yarn first. This is a handspun yarn. This is by the company, yarn label already here, who am I, little planning queen. Feline fibers. It says guaranteed cat hair blended. So cute. This yarn has wool, alpaca, and silk in it, but it is just this like lovely two-tone purple yarn. It's got fun like purples, reds, blues just kind of thrown in throughout. Some pink I think I see in there. And then I was like, oh, I gotta, you know, do a little holding with something else, because this, I mean, it does have alpaca and silk in it, but it is still a bit toothy. So to pair with it, I got this, which is Mayu by Amana. This might be the softest yarn I've ever felt. It is a royal alpaca, cashmere, and silk blend. I had so many ideas. They just changed all the time of what to do with this yarn combo. I wanted to make a cowl. I wanted to make a colorwork cowl of all of the leaves I have on my leaf sleeve. That is still a colorwork project that I want to do someday, and I have like a nice little idea about it, but that will be in the future when I get more experience with color work and like drawing stuff. I'm not very good at drawing, but Let me tell y'all, internet is very helpful. I did end up deciding to make like a garment for my neck that is color work. And it is a kind of color work that I have not done, and that is mosaic knitting, which is a type of color work. That is going to be the hand-pressed flower kerchief by, wouldn't you like to know, Amy Christoffers. It's a part of her pressed flower group of projects. I think there's like a sweater, a cardigan, a hat, an actual shawl. It was really cool actually. She partnered with Hobie to make this pattern, and it's a free pattern. Very cool and fun and fresh. These together, I think with the varying textures and then like the variation of color in this with that little kerchief pattern will just be very pretty. Because of the textural difference of the yarn, I think it will be contrasting enough. Obviously not like a black and white, you'll be able to see it super well, but I think it'll come through. So that is my 6th project. 3 more, right? Yeah, and the next one involves a lot of yarn. Get ready. The next project I'm gonna be talking about is gonna be my white whale. It is a big one, and it is a sweater. I said it in my Vlogmas series that I think 2025 is going to be a year of color work. And so far I've only talked about one color work project that I want to do, but again, this is not an all-inclusive list of what I will be making in 2025. This next project, like I said, is going to be a sweater, and it's going to be a Christmas sweater or a holiday sweater. Obviously, the holidays have passed, but seeing everybody's makes, I'm like, I want one. I do not have a specific Christmas sweater yet, and I want an all-over color work Christmas sweater. This is going to be a self-drafted pattern. Am I crazy? Let's look at the yarn first. I got this yarn. I know when you think of holiday, you think of freaking lime neon green, right? Everybody? This is a yarn that I picked up during the Bay Area yarn crawl. This was from Firebird Yarns, which is a store in San Francisco on Haight Street specifically. This is her boucle bliss, and it is a DK weight boucle yarn, I believe. I got this, no plans, not a one, which is kind of unlike me. I usually get yarn with a project in mind. Lindsay, who owns Superglo Fibers, she does a quarterly collection each year. In 2024, she did a collection called Millennial Lane, which was inspired by the late 90s, early 2000s pop culture kind of things. It was different each month, and that's what she does. She picks a theme, and then each quarter kind of encompasses that theme. I believe she does it in 2 bases, fingering and DK. I do not know if that is correct, but if my memory serves me right, which it never really does, those are her offerings. And then she also, which I think is really cool, she does a variegated and a tonal, and you either pick variegated or tonal, or 2 of each, which is what I did. 2 variegated, 2 tonal per quarter. I ended up doing 2 of the quarters. This yarn is what is going to be my Christmas sweater, and it's really out there and kind of bizarre, but I'll just kind of like go through, show you all the colors and tell you about the colorways. Oh, by the way, this is called Sublime. All right, so we'll start with the tonals. This is the colorway Razor. Oh, that's right. She accidentally sent me a sock of this one. I'll just hold it together. It'll be fine. And then I've got Watermelon. And the rest from here on out will be the glossy DK base. So there's Watermelon. And then I've got Grape Juice. And lastly, for the tonals will be Popcorn. Next will be the variegated. This is BRB. And hearts, semicolon. Teen Spirit. And last but certainly not least, Herbal Essence. I have a couple of patterns that I will be purchasing in order to execute this. Because, again, I have not done a lot of color work, and I will say I'm going to be swatching up the wazoo to be able to do this. I know it's not just like a cast on. This is something that I'm semi-creating out of scratch. It's not a thing that I would be able to write a pattern for because, again, I'm using multiple paid patterns in order to understand like stitch counts and also pattern charts. The two patterns that I'm going to be drawing on, one is the Stripe Hype sweater by Veronica Lindbergh, or Kotova Kika. She has a lovely YouTube channel, has written multiple books now, and I thought that this would go well with the vision that I'm kind of looking for. For the color charts, I'm going to be using the Festive Yoke Pullover by Skein Deer Knits. Now, the Festive Yoke Pullover is a sport weight pattern, but if I have the color charts, then I can use those and create my own kind of sections, I guess. It is going to be a haul, y'all. I mean, again, lots of swatching, lots of planning, and I have a year to do it, so hopefully I stay on track with it. But the yarns are piling up. I don't know how I'm going to execute it yet. I think I want to do stripes of color, either with a contrast color like a white or a gray, either a tonal or a variegated yarn, or I'm going to try to combine these so that there's enough contrast that you can really see the color work happening. I don't know, y'all. It might be a mess. Again, a lot of swatching will happen. I want to say that I really wanted to do a drop shoulder color work. So that will require some knitting flat color work, but I don't know, y'all. I just really don't want to do a circular yoke. It's not really my favorite kind of fit. So I don't know, just personal preference there. That is a video that I'm going to be making, is creating this insane colorwork sweater. Come on, y'all. There's bound to be some laughs with this thing. I mean, probably a lot of frogging. A little scared. That's okay. The next yarn that I have, I got during the Wine Country Yarn Hop at Castaway Yarn Shop in Santa Rosa, California. This yarn is a Hedgehog Fibers yarn, which I have not worked with Hedgehog Fibers yet, but I've seen it all over in the knitting YouTube world. Actually, a friend of mine, Ona, you all know Ona, she worked with this exact yarn to make an Oslo hat, and it was gorgeous. Y'all, that yarn shop, oh my gosh. They just have a bunch of like the yarn brands that I've seen people use, but it's just not super available at my local yarn store. This is Hedgehog Fibers Tweedy, and I got it in the colorway Conmera. It is this like sea foamy kind of greeny blue. It is 50% Falkland merino wool, 37.5% recycled wool, and 12.5% of Hedgehog Fibers thread waste. There are just the most fun little tweedy bits throughout the yarn, and I got this yarn with a specific project in mind. It is the Tolsta Tea by Rebecca Clow. I've seen this made by her and by others all over the internet. I've never made a t-shirt for myself, and I just thought this colorway, it's neutral enough, but also with a little fun in there. And this is something that I'm like itching to cast on. It'll be a nice transitional kind of shirt, you know, spring, fall slash also winter, because I love the style of wearing a long sleeve t-shirt under like a t-shirt, even just like a cotton normal kind of casual one, but also this. Oh, I'm so excited. Last but certainly not least, the 9th of my Make 9 is using this yarn. I originally got it during the Bay Area yarn crawl. It is a bulky weight boucle yarn from A Verb for Keeping Warm. It is called Lambkin, and it is in the colorway Sagebrush. There's 87 yards per 100 grams. I was originally going to make, I think it's called the Josephine vest, pictures right here, but I did not get enough yarn for that. So I started it and then I started to work on it and I was like, oh, this is not going to fit me. So I kind of put this yarn on hold for a while because I'm like, what am I gonna do with this bulky weight boucle yarn? And then this pattern came out, the Flynn vest by Julie Weisenberger. It is this gorgeous boucle vest with a zipper and cute little pockets. Have you all seen the like fluffy vests? They're usually made out of, you know, plastic, polyamide, whatever. They're very cute and like kind of trendy right now, but this is kind of like their answer to that trend of like, here is this lovely woolly version. Actually, what is this made out of? It's gotta be alpaca, right? It's 70% Highland wool and 30% superfine alpaca. I got 2 skeins when I was originally there during the yarn crawl. I bought 3 online. Now, this is hand-dyed yarn. It is a different dye lot. These are a different color than the 2 that I originally got. I mean, you can already tell. So, I don't know. I'm gonna kind of work it in as I see fit. Maybe like the back will be, you know, one of the colorways, or like the pockets will be, I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of go with it, but I'm not too worried about it actually. I think it might look a bit strange in the finished garment, but I also don't care that much. I don't really need it to be all one color. Obviously, I would really like that. But it's not something that's necessary for me to scare me away from doing this project. 9 projects, y'all. What are we thinking? I'm pretty excited. There's some fun neutrals, some not neutrals in there. There's a variation of pattern types and sizes and shapes and everything that I'm going to be exploring in 2025. I said before that with my Christmas or holiday sweater that I will be making, I'm gonna do a little video kind of documenting that. If there are any of these projects that you all would like to see me make a video about, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to give you what you want. I love sharing my making process. I love having fun with it. Well, y'all, if you liked this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to see more of me, more of myself, more of these projects. And if you want more in-time updates, give me a little follow on Instagram. I'm over there at feelin froggy knits. Thanks y'all so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Ooh, there are gunshots going on outside of my house. Oh, America.